I'm still struggling to believe that saving could change my life this much. What if all you need to be financially free is simply understanding the mindset behind saving? You're welcome to today's podcast. My name is Coach Temi. This is where we discuss everything business, life, and purpose. So, today we are going to be discussing the mindset behind saving, not saving, but the mindset behind saving. And I want to have this discussion because I've been in a place where I was so scared because I was spending my last cash. The fear was very, very tormenting. I don't know if other people go through this, but I've been there before, over and over again. And I'm not saying that I'm totally financially free, but there's something I've discovered that has helped me, despite the fact that I don't have all the millions, but the mindset has changed. I believe that some of us can learn this, can add it to what we do. And it's the mindset behind saving. I never thought that it, I could see this much change just because of saving. And how did I begin to save? I've been saving before, but not intentionally, little here, little there. But I was watching a video by Olushola, and he was discussing saving, and he said, no matter what you earn, never eat it all. Not because I've not heard that before, but it now sounded like that was the first time I was hearing it. And immediately, and one thing about me is that once I learned something, immediately I do it. I don't wait. I could even stop the video and just go and do it and come back to the video later. Or perhaps never come back to the video, but most times I come back to the video later. Immediately I pause the video, then I open my piggy vest. I had trust issues for all these online apps. But despite that, I was going to save this. If I lose it, I lose it. It's part of the whole learning. So I opened it and I automated my saving, daily saving, put a particular amount and forget about it. And I also funded it with a little amount. Then I also joined contribution and I started saving. But the change I'm talking about is not the fact that I had some money in saving, but is what it made happen to me. And I'm going to get deep into it. But have you ever been in a situation where you are spending your last cash and there was this fear that gripped you that you cannot explain? You cannot explain it, but it's so dreadful because you know that there is nobody is coming to save you. Like they will say, nobody is coming to save you. I have a guide that would help my conversation today so that I don't go off point. But scarcity is a bastard, I must tell you. One of the things scarcity does to us is that it's as if it clothes us with fear that you cannot handle. And if you have been there, you can relate with this. But what do I really mean by saving? Most times we think saving is only about saving money, but there are three aspects I group saving into. Number one is having money in an account you probably cannot access or can access. Number two, and that could also liken to investment. You have investment somewhere. Number two is relationship. Relationship can be savings because when you build relationship intentionally, you are saving up funds for yourself because whatever money can buy, relationship can also buy. Even relationship could pay more than what your money can afford. So intentionally building relationship that can afford you some things that you might not have the money for is also saving. Can I ask you, if you need 1 million today, do you have someone you can call that can release the fund to you without, of course, the person might ask questions, but you are sure that eventually the person will release the money? Do you have anybody in your network? If you have such person, write the name down. Or let's say maybe you don't have someone that can afford you 1 million. What of 500,000? What of 200,000? What of 100,000? What of 50K? What of 10K? Some of us don't have that level of relationship with people that you can run to and they can afford you that amount. And this is not because you are just close to them. This is something you build intentionally, and that's why I call it saving, because it doesn't just happen. It's something you have to build intentionally. So savings could be investment, it could be money in the bank or investment, it could be relationship. Then the third is it could be cash flow. You have a business that gives you money perhaps every day or every week. It is also a form of saving, because if you are spending your last cash, you know that the next day there is something that is coming from your business to your account. That is also savings. And we're going to get deep into it. But looking at it, ask yourself, do I have any of these savings? I don't just want to rush through this because there is something I'm trying to get at. Do I have any of these savings? Do I have investment? Do I have relationship that can afford me some things that perhaps I don't have money for? Do I also have cash flow? A business that is guaranteed that tomorrow I'm not talking of business that comes once in a week or once in a month or once in a quarter. A business that's guaranteed that tomorrow it will bring money to your account. You see, there's a way the mind behaves when you don't have savings or you don't have any reserve anyway. And it's not because you do not have money at hand. It's because your mind knows what is available to you. When you don't have money at hand, but there are places where you can get money. You see, there's a level of calmness that comes upon you. That you just feel, I will sort it. I will sort it not because you are using good faith. It's because your mind knows that your mind has thought of one or two places the money can come from. So you are relaxed. You are relaxed. And I know that you probably might be thinking, okay, what if you apply faith? Yes, faith works actually. I don't want to delve into that. I just want to speak to the mindset of saving first. And faith without works is dead. So there has to be a level of mindset even behind the faith you are applying. So when nothing is set aside, the mind defaults to I don't have, I can't, and it's not for people like me. People feel, and many people lose out on opportunities that you could actually get, not because you have money, but because you have the confidence to even approach the deal. There are some deals that you get not because you have money, but because you have the confidence to even start the conversation. But when you don't have that saving, or when you don't have reserve anywhere, the fear of even starting the conversation does not allow you to go for it. So sometimes money acts as a roof over your head. Even when you know it's raining out there, there's still this roof that covers you, that you know that there is, I don't want to call it security. There's something you can fall back to if it gets worse. And that is why saving is very important. So, like I mentioned the other time, savings could be in three aspects. Could be an investment you cannot access right now. Even when you can't access it right now, you can always, at worst, you call for your investment, you sell your assets. Let's say you have a land that is worth maybe 5 million and you need money to sort something. You know that the worst thing that can happen is that you put out your land for sale, you sell it and you sort it. Even though that's not the best solution. But that knowledge or that reserve you have gives you confidence that nothing will go wrong. Or you have a relationship that what's worse, I'll just not call my uncle now because he's your uncle. I'll reach out to a friend, I'll reach out to a mentor that I know that I've invested enough. But the person also has respect for me, and the person also has the resources to support me in this situation. Even though that might not always help us or save us. But what I'm talking about is not really the solution. I'm talking about the mindset behind having these savings. Two things it does to you, or let me say three things it does to you. Number one is that it gives that calmness to be able to handle the situation at hand. Number two is that it gives you peace of mind. Number three is that it gives you confidence to go for more. And these are the things we need most times in life to handle situations. The confidence to approach, you are owing someone or you need to sort something. Confidence to say, don't worry, I would set you in 1 month time or set you in 3 months time. Someone that does not have reserve anywhere will not be able to put a date or put a time to when he's going to sort the situation on ground. So this reserve helps us to be able to approach situations, to be able to handle issues confidently. And perhaps we are saying that my salary is 50,000. It is not even enough to take care of my monthly expenses. I understand. But like Olushola said, no matter the amount you are earning, you must not eat it all. You can give yourself a cap of 10% saving. Every of your salary, every time you receive salary, 10% goes automatically into your savings. And this helps you now realize that whatsoever is left can be managed. So even if you earn 30K in a month, which of course does not even it's not even enough to take care of your needs in a day, you can still save 10%. And it might look very small, but that mindset that you are keeping money somewhere gives you confidence, gives you calmness to handle situation, and that's exactly what we need. So you are replacing the fear of not having at all to the calmness and the confidence to approach situation because you know that you would be able to sort it. So like I said, money is like roof over our head, and knowing that some amount of money exists somewhere, even when it is untouchable, changes how you handle situation, gives you boldness to think and even to approach situations. And I noted here that your peace is more important than your purchasing power. Yes, your peace, you can, just because you have peace of mind and you have the calmness and confidence, you can have the opportunity of getting some assets that you don't have money for. You can even have some amount of cash at hand, but because you don't also have any reserve or the confidence to handle the situation, you might not get the deal, but you might not even have money at hand. But because of that confidence you have, based on the reserve you have, if you notice, I'm not really talking about faith here. Based on the reserve you have and your saving power, you can approach that deal and still have it. So I noticed that in ancient Rome, the way wealthy people are classified is not only based on their asset, it is also based on their communication and their choices. And this is very fundamental and very profound because you now know people not because of how much they have, but because of the choices they make. So when you say something like, I don't have, it means you are helpless. So it means you are a slave. So the way they group people is either you are a slave or you are a citizen. So when your choices are around I don't have, I cannot afford, it means you are a slave. But when you say something like I won't spend now or I it's not my priority, it means you have authority, which means that you are a citizen. That might be a very minute, might not be significant, but it shows how our choices and our communication affect the way people see us. And even around the world, that's exactly how people see us. And I'm saying that it should replace I don't have with I don't want to spend. And you are replacing it not because you have learned how to replace it, but because you know that you have a culture of saving. Even if all that you have in your saving is 10K, but there's that culture that sponsor that mindset that could enable you to say, I don't want to spend this now. We are changing the idea of scarcity to being able to manage your resources. And like I mentioned, we are discussing about the mindset behind saving here. It's not really about the money you have in your account or how much you can afford right now. It's just that mindset that sponsors your actions and your activities. I noted here that the truth is that the mind respects our choices more than our limitation. You can have the limitation of funds, but your choices, and sometimes it's not because you cannot afford it, but because of the mindset behind. You have 100k, what you want to purchase is 50k, but yet you are saying I don't have. But you have enough to afford it. That mindset is also wrong. So when you have the mindset, you will be able to say I don't want to, because our words are not just for communication, our words are for creation. The more you say I don't have, you eventually will not have. But when you change your language and your choices to this is not my priority, we are even saying it from calmness, from peace of mind, because you know that even if you don't have it, there's a culture, there's a mindset that is sponsoring what you are doing, and it is very, very important. And that also affects the way you relate with people. When you see people that have more than enough, you are not agitated, because you know that there is a principle that got them to where they are right now, and you are also on your journey. Eventually, over time, you arrive there, because the mindset would always place you where you belong. Your mindset would always eventually place you where you belong, and your right choices will place you where you also belong. Now, the fourth point I have is being able to afford something and buying something are not the same. I think I've mentioned this before. The fact that you can afford something is not the same thing as you can buy something. And let me explain further. You can have enough to buy something at hand, but yet you are scared. You might not have enough to buy something at hand, yet you can afford it, but you are not buying it and you are not scared. This is simply about, it's a mindset game. I hope I'm able to communicate it the way you can understand. But in my head, what I'm trying to say, everything I'm trying to say, I can actually say it in one sentence or in 2 minutes. But I'm trying to dissect it for you to understand that many times it is not how much you can spend now, it is the mindset behind your savings or your money. You might not have it right now, but if you have the mindset and the culture of saving, you know that you can eventually buy it. It's as simple as that. So one question I will ask is, when was the first time you realized you could afford something but choose not to buy it? When was the first time you realized that you can afford something but you chose not to buy it? How do you feel? Do you feel under pressure? The truth is that you were not under pressure, because you know you can afford it but you're not buying it. But you know there are some times that you bought some things that you have money for but you were scared. After buying it, you are still scared. This money I'm spending, I will suffer am. so you have to. The mindset is very, very powerful. So anytime you are buying something and you are scared, just know that it's a red flag telling you that the mindset is wrong. It's even better to pause and adjust your mindset. Like, have a genuine communication with yourself. Talk to yourself. Sometimes we skip that. We try to cover our mind from understanding what is happening in our world. But whether or not you cover it, your mind is speaking your reality. Our mind is speaking our reality. You cannot lie to your mind. And your mind does not know the difference between money at hand and money in the bank. Your mind picks your choices and your communication. If your communication is wrong, but you have the money, your mind is picking poverty. And eventually, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So easy. There was someone I worked with last year. We were on a project worth some millions. And the person kept saying, we have enough to handle this project. And I know genuinely that we don't have. But there's something about telling your team members that, guys, whatever we need for this project, let me know. We have what it takes to handle it. And eventually, it was sorted. There was no debt, it was sorted. Why? Because there's this mindset. So I believe that the person is not just saying this to make us feel good. The person knows that the worst thing that can happen is that we don't have money to pay for some stuffs, but I can reach out to one or two people that can sort it for us and I can pay them back later. Or worst case, I have an asset somewhere, we'll sell it, we take care of what we have to take care of, and we'll move on. But if you don't have those stuff in place, you don't have that relationship you can run to, you don't have asset you can run to, if you don't have savings you can run to, you'll be scared. And with fear, you cannot achieve anything. So the next point is number 5 is savings rewires how you see opportunities. I mentioned this earlier. There are some opportunities you cannot see when you don't have savings. This is this might not you might not get this if you have not been there. But recently there are some opportunities I started seeing just because I have some savings, even though I don't have enough to pay for those opportunities or to afford those opportunities. But because I have, let's say there's an opportunity of 50 million, and in my savings or my asset all put together, I only have 10 million. There's a level of confidence I have to approach that opportunity because I know that I have something I could, worst case, I can make down payment and have access to it, then use it, then make more money and pay up. But if you don't have anything at all, when you hear 50 million, your mind just goes blank. You're just like, come on, this one is not for us. So that's how it works. So savings help you see opportunities. When you see opportunity, you are not just thinking of the numbers or prices or figures. You are thinking of, if I have this, or since I have this, I can drop this to access this, then I can figure the rest out. Or if I can bring this person on board, we can raise the funds to get this. And most times, the next level is just in an opportunity. And many times you probably might not be able to afford. So instead of zoning out when numbers appears, you can stay in the present and confront the situation. Many times you will be able to handle it. So it's only poor mindset that avoids number and get very defensive. If you find yourself getting very defensive when they discuss money or you try to talk it out, check your mindset. Check your mindset. There's something missing. Is that you don't have savings, or you're trying to block your mind. You're trying to protect your mind from seeing your reality. It's better to even help our mind to see what is happening than use your communication to rephrase it. Let's say you're in a situation where you don't have any savings, you have issues to sort out worth millions. Instead of trying to talk it out, I have it, you confess positive, no, calm down. Speak to yourself. I know I don't have this, but it's something I can work on. I believe I can still make it happen. I believe I can still work it out. Then get logical to an extent. If I do this, I do this. This can be the result. I can work to like make plans, then also trust God. After making plans, then you can now commit it to God with faith, hoping that something will happen. And I believe something will happen. So, what opportunity do you now pay attention to? Or what opportunity would you have paid attention to if you had savings? I think some of us have to go back to some opportunities that you just ignored because you were not ready for it. Let's say you needed a car and someone is talking about a car of maybe 5 million around here, and you just say, oh, I beg, I don't have that money. But it is a need, maybe based on the business you do or the needs around your family needs. Do not push it away. Have that conversation. talk about it. Ask for how maybe they do installments, or or are there ways to make the payment if you don't have the money? Just have a conversation. You can never tell what can result from such conversations. So never be scared of having conversations around money because you don't have the money at hand. Then another thing is start saving intentionally, because that will also help you. The last point I have here is that money don't follow hustle first. It follows mindset. Running around will not really sort your financial problem. The mindset will bring the right opportunities to you. If hustle can solve our financial problem, people doing the hardest work would have more money. But if you think of it, people that have more money are people that are not doing so much with their body, but they are doing so much with their mind. And you cannot do so much with your mind when you are not when you are not in a place of rest, or you are not in a place of calmness, because you can't even think through. So it's very, very important to understand that also will not solve our financial problem. It will not. It will not. Most times, even start from the place of saving. When you have little money to key into opportunities before they pass you by. So a stable financial mindset attracts better decisions, better timing, and better discipline. So you stop making panic purchases, you stop sabotaging yourself, and you start focusing because your mind is at rest. Back to how we started. I was still struggling to, back to where we started. I said I never imagined that saving could make this much difference. Because the way I see things now, I'm not scared. When you talk about there's a building, someone want to sell a building for maybe 200 million, I'm not scared. I can have such conversations, not because I have that money, but I have some savings. I have some relationships I've built. I know sometimes those relationships might not give you what you need, but at the moment, I have confidence to have that conversation. So, who told you that that house they want to sell for 200 million, you can't get it for less just because you have the confidence to handle the conversation? Or you can't have access to it till you are able to pay for it. Such things happen, they happen. So, savings gives you that confidence to be able to address situations. But I'll close on this. Saving won't make you overnight rich. That has to be very clear. But what it will do for you, that it can make you mentally free. And I think that that mental freedom is very key to our financial freedom. Very, very key. If you cannot think freely, I don't think you can be financially free, because everything starts from here. It starts from here. So, thank you so much for joining. I'll see you next week. I hope that after watching this podcast, you would start saving intentionally